Good morning, everybody. It's so nice to see you again on a live stream. I hope everybody is doing great. We're going to have a very good movie math later today because Black Widow has made a tremendous amount of money at the box office. So that'll be a lot of fun to talk about. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining me. I apologize that this stream was a little bit late. This is very early for some of you. Scorpio Dan pointed out. The thing is that I have a major family event every July 8th for like a couple of days, and so it makes it a little bit difficult for me to cover any movies that come out around that period. So I wish that Marvel would stop releasing movies then. In fact, Black Panther 2 comes out on July 8th, so it's a balancing act to make sure I get all the content out and that I can participate in family activities. So I want to thank everybody for joining. Hey, John Lang. And I see some other new members as well. If you join during a stream, you'll get a shout out. James Potts III. I love it. Very official. And then I saw somebody else just joined. Dylan Lyons. Hey, everybody. So yes, we should have more streams this week. There won't be a stream tomorrow, but I'm hoping to have one on Tuesday and Wednesday. It's not my birthday, Madeline. It's another family member's. But anyway, you know, I have a screening tomorrow at 3 o'clock. But I have some cool stuff for you this week, and of course, the Loki finale is on Wednesday. I have to say, doing the watch-alongs when the Disney Plus shows airs really throw my schedule off, and so that's like a little bit difficult for me. Hey, Chase Jepson. So anyway, we're here to talk about Black Widow spoilers. So you guys can ask, hey, Sean Tiplady, you guys can ask me anything that you want. This is a spoiler. I'm gonna talk about spoilers in just a second. So I'm just giving you a warning. We're gonna talk about them now. Hey, Harry Sewing. We're gonna talk about them now, so you've been warned. All right, so you have the ladies of Black Widow there, including Taskmaster. Hey, Cormac Brennan. And I was fine with the Taskmaster change. I'm not a huge Taskmaster fan, but I respect Taskmaster in the comics. But I feel the door is still open to still have Tony Masters show up. Although it is Antonia Dreykov, but that's still not Tony Masters. So I think that could be fixed. How did everybody here feel about the Taskmaster change? I think it makes a lot of sense from the perspective. I think it's a Jack Schaefer thing. Evan Moore says, I like the Taskmaster thing, but I did feel that it was a waste. That's exactly how I feel. I feel like if it had been better executed, people would have had less of a problem about it. Like if it had been mind-blowingly cool, people would be like, I love it, it's great. Madeline says, should have had better fights. But when Taskmaster was on screen, it was amazing, right? I saw the movie again in theaters on Friday night. And I have to say the opening of the movie plays much better in theaters than it does on television. Most of you don't love it. Dallas says she didn't die, so that was good. That's right. Oh, that's right, Sufyan. They could always have a variant. And another timeline, it is Tony Masters. Kevin Feige's like, my problems are fixed forever. And Raphael says, I wish the Taskmaster had more copy moments. I would agree with that. I do think that it would have been better. So Jack Schaefer worked on the story for this. And Jack Schaefer is also behind WandaVision. And Jack Schaefer, I think, is a lot like Julie Taymor, who did Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, that Broadway musical that kind of ruined her career, actually, ended her career, which is too bad because she had a lot of really good ideas in there. But I think what you have is you have these women in particular, unfortunately, come in and they don't know anything about the source material. And the problem, though, is that, hey, you don't have to, hey, Aaron, you don't need to know about the source material to work on comic book movies. But I think being disinterested in the source material and not wanting to learn about it is where there's a problem. And I think Jack Schaefer has cool ideas. I think she does a good job with, female characters. Hey, Alan Parrington. But I feel like she doesn't understand the importance of comic book lore. And I think that she's just disrespectful of that. And I think that's, that's her downfall, I think. I think that she did so well off of WandaVision that she actually got a deal with Marvel. But I think Black Widow is going to hurt her a little bit because the Rotten Tomato score is low. It's one of the lowest, actually, that Marvel's ever had. Was the stunt double male? I don't know if the stunt double was male. I asked that at the press conference, but they wouldn't answer that question. Dylan says, I felt like a huge part of the movie's downfall is that there was no tension for any of the fights. It was like, oh, we're fighting all of a sudden. I would agree. I thought the fights were good. I did like the fights. But I think that they just had, as I said in my reviews, I think they just had too much going on, which I think is a problem. I think that, they had it should have just been either all Natasha or just Natasha and Yelena. I think they didn't need Melina, and I think the Red Guardian didn't have really any fights. He just got the crap beat out of him by Taskmaster. Our Yelena is so great. Yelena was trending #1 on Saturday night. Saturday or Friday? I think actually it was Friday. Wasn't that just wonderful when everybody watched the movie together and everyone was talking about Yelena because she really was that good. And I really feel that it's really unfortunate for Scarlett Johansson, but I think because of Florence Pugh, nobody's pew, 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 pew. I can't help myself. No one's going to miss Natasha. No one's going to be like, oh, I wish Natasha would come back. Instead, they're going to be, hey, James Alford. They're going to be like, Yelena's so great. I can't believe how good she is. So Black Widow says the stunt double for Taskmaster was male, and his Instagram is Litters Box if anybody wants to check it out. If it's a male stunt double, that's really bad. I mean, I would have been on set and I would have been like, if this is supposed to be a woman, you can't have a male stunt double. That's ridiculous. I think that's really bad. Because I said in my reviews, particularly my spoiler reviews, that I'd never seen a woman move that way. I'd never seen a woman have that physicality, and I thought that was really interesting. But if it's a guy in there, well then, that I just really have a problem with that. I don't understand how Marvel always gets away with this stuff. It bothers me so much. Hey, Curtis. Hey, Angel Yannel. Stephen points out that women have male stunt doubles a lot. I don't think they should. I really don't. I mean, that's true, Stephen. I think that, in fact, Scarlett Johansson, I think maybe has even had, in the past. By the way, did you guys see that Scarlett Johansson was singing the praises of Joss Whedon in an Entertainment Weekly interview with the whole cast? Scarlett Johansson has survived being canceled so many times. First, she did the stuff, she backed Woody Allen. Then she did the stuff about, saying she could play a tree if she wanted to. And everybody, and everyone made fun of her, but she got through it, and she's having this huge hit. It's incredible. But it's I appreciate that, Curtis. But, then she's like, oh yeah, we talk about how great Joss Whedon is. And you're like, are you kidding me? I mean, the look on everyone's face is what really made that very funny. I just don't understand why she would do that. Really, I don't, she's so lucky that she has escaped being canceled so many times. I just don't understand it. I know that Scarlett Johansson worked with him on a number of films as this character, but even the things way he treated, his treatment of Black Widow in Age of Ultron was one of the things that got him fired from the MCU. Oh yeah, did everybody else, GGRG noticed a lot of butt shots at the beginning of the movie? Did anybody else notice that? I did too. I was like, what's with the butt cam, man? When she was going to get into the car, I was like, is this a female director? Why do I have to look at the butt all the time? I thought that was really weird. It was really bizarre. Let's follow Natasha's butt as she gets into this car. And I'd be like, that's really weird. You guys are funny. Some of you said, I did notice it, but it was great. You guys are funny. Oh, I missed a shout out? Hold on. Oh, Leluminai. This is a long username. I love it. Leluminai, Lekatariba, Lamina. I don't know what if that is in a foreign language, so I'm not going to finish it. Let's see here. No offense to you, but sometimes I have trolls on here. Hey, Dominic. Mika says, what did I think of O.T. Fagbenley? I thought he was great. I thought he was really great. Oh, it's from Fifth Element. Whew, thank you. You make me feel better. Thank you very much. I thought O.T. Fagbenley was great, and I thought they did a really good misdirect. I mean, we all fell for it. I thought that was incredible. That considering how much stuff leaks these days, and I think spoilers are a little bit out of control, it's really a tough space to be in right now. I'm amazed that it didn't leak about Olga Kurylenko until like right before the movie came out. Hey, Daddy Longlegs. I only found out about it, like I'd say maybe a week before I saw the movie. Ari says, I hated David Harbour in this film. I liked him a little bit more the second time. Hey, Ro Esparza. I have to say, the movie plays better on a big screen. It really does. Where did everybody watch the movie? Did you watch it in a theater or did you watch it on Disney Plus? It's real low on Disney Plus, by the way, on trending. I think everyone's seeing it in theaters. IMAX for Tracy. A lot of decent number at home. Both for Danny. Danny, I'm impressed. Let's see here. Adam says, Grace, I know you want England to win today. Is there a big game today? I take it. Richard Branson's going to space. Hey, Peter A. There's a big game in England. I'm guessing soccer. It's a big day for England. Raphael says, theater with 3 masks. I did have my mask on the entire time when I went. It really sucks to have to watch a movie with a mask on, but this Delta variant is no joke. Oh, ES went twice already. That's great. Lamatya says, in theater so far, but planning to get it on Disney Plus. That's great. That's wonderful. Oh, it's the Euro final today. Football, says Anthony. Jay King says, I watched it at Lincoln Square in the Dolby Theater. My theater was shoulder to shoulder packed. Jay King, that's exactly where I saw it as well. I wonder if we were at the same screening. Although my audience didn't applaud, so I guess not. Black Widow went 5 times. And 4 in IMAX. I'm so glad you're enjoying it. Let's talk about the end credit. Okay, Chico says, what was my favorite Yelena moment? Oh, it's so hard to choose. All right, I'll pick one, and then you guys can pick one. I think my favorite Yelena moment was when she did the posing joke. It was just so funny and so great, and Florence Pugh did it so perfectly with her thick Russian accent. I mean, it was just perfect. So what did everybody else like? A lot of the vest. The vest was really funny. I liked also when she did her own pose, so I guess it's like a 2-parter. So that was great. The vest gag. She had a lot of good running gags. This would be a good way to die. This would not be a good way to die. Hey, Jordan. Oh, Ari, her and Nat fighting in the apartment. That's good. I like that. Naming the dog Fanny, says Jack Foster. Was that after Fanny Longbottom, right? When she punched Red Guardian. That's great. Oh, you like the American Pie, Matt? It was very touching when the American Pie song played at the beginning of the movie. Much better. You know, when you watch it at streaming at home, it plays like a television show. But when you watch it in a theater, it's more interesting. Denzel liked her in the car chase scene. Black Widow says liked when she whistles at the grave. Yeah, that was pretty sad. Natasha's dead. Helicopter scene. She had so many great moments. She's going to be a real scene stealer going forward. I'm very happy for her. I mean, we've all known that Florence Pugh is very talented for quite some time, but she's going to be really famous now. Like, she was successful before, but she's going to be super famous. I don't think that the MCU has a female character who will be, I think, as popular as Florence Pugh. Can anyone think of another female character in the... I mean, there's certainly good ones. But I can't think of anyone who has the ability to be at the level of the male characters in terms of popularity. Maybe Cate Blanchett as Hela. She was certainly up there. And Wanda. Oh, of course. Everyone is like, Wanda! Yes, Wanda. Wanda Maximoff for sure. Boy, I sure love Wanda. Hey, Jesse Anderson. I forgot, because Wanda's so hardly in the movies. So I would say it's interesting. This new generation of women is totally changing it. I think Wanda, I think, now Yelena, and I think that Haley Steinfeld will be extremely popular as well. Isn't that great? I think that's just wonderful. I think that's so great. I think that the female character, and Okoye, I think also is really great. I like Okoye. She needs more to do, but I like her a lot. Shuri's good, but I like Shuri a lot, but I don't think she's the level of Okoye. Because Okoye has the fight scenes. Having fight scenes is crucial, I think. I think all the Dora Milaje are pretty awesome, though. When they showed up in Falcon and Winter Soldier, that's right, Steven. When Storm shows up, it's going to be great. I want a comics accurate. They have to really fix Storm, Rogue, and Cyclops. Come on, Feige. You must do it. I think Mantis, that's right, Lamont. Yeah, Shuri and Mantis are very funny. They're funny characters. I love Zendaya, Matt Damrich, but she's like a girlfriend character. We need actual heroes. Oh, that's a good question, Black Widow. I like that question. Okay. Who do you think would win in a fight between the Dora Milaje and the Widows? I think it would be close. All right, I think it would be the Dora Milaje, to be honest with you. I really do feel it would be them. I like Nebula, but I think Nebula, she's just for some reason still not. I like Nebula a lot, but I don't think she's a lead. So far, no votes for the Widows. Everyone agrees that the Dora Milaje would win. They have such great tech. The Dora Milaje are like so many steps ahead. I think they would figure out a way to disable the Widows. Why haven't they deprogrammed? That's a good point. Wouldn't Wakanda know about the Red Room program and Shuri would have come up with a way to take them out from the mind control? Hey, Eric Doling. I mean, I think that in real life, the Dora Milaje would have taken out the Red Room a long time ago, I think. In real life. Although Gary has a good point. He says the Widows will win because they use guns. That's true. It's like Indiana Jones and Raiders with the gun versus a sword fight. Oh, the Valkyrie too. A lot of all-female armies. Gabriel, that's a good point. Oh, Sylvie. Is Sylvie? I don't know. I think Sylvie, unfortunately, is also a girlfriend character, to be honest with you. On Loki. I like Sylvie, but only because Loki likes her so much. I don't know if she could stand on her own, quite frankly. I do love Wanda. I can't believe I didn't remember Wanda. I don't think of her in the movie space still. Way to use those emojis, Argus. I love it. I like the Valkyrie. Madeline makes a good point. The Valkyrie have Asgardian strength. Although I don't think I've really ever seen Tessa Thompson use it. And you have to remember, Yelena doesn't have any superpowers. The Widows aren't juiced, I don't believe, right? I mean, in the comics, they're supposed to be a little Captain America-y. We need an all-male army to balance this out. Jesse Anderson says, sorry, this isn't exactly Black Widow related, but it is 100% safe to get excited for Andrew and Toby this December. Yes, Jesse, you can 100% get excited about it. Hey, Ricky. I'll tell you some tea. I'll tell you as little tea as I can. For the Spider-Man trailer, it's just a teaser, and I don't believe, from what I've heard, that Toby and Andrew, they don't show up in the teaser. So Doctor Strange I think shows up. So it's not going to be like, it's not going to blow the internet open. I mean, I thought it was going to hopefully be one of those like, where were you when the Spider-Man trailer dropped? And it's not going to be like that. Everybody knows. I don't know why that Sony thinks that they're keeping a secret for some reason. Sufjan says, do you think that Scarlett Johansson will ever return? That's a good question. I think, of course, she will at some point, because that's just the nature of these franchises. It's a very sellable moment to be like, and Nat's back! Hey, Ryan Scholl. But I actually do not want her. You're not blocked, Grazer. I don't want Natasha to return. I think she had a really good story. I think her sacrifice was really important. And I think Scarlett Johansson's like a little difficult. Hey, Lamatya, her variants will. That's interesting. Would you guys want Natasha to return? I mean, I think it should be a while. I would like older Black Widow to return someday. Madeline says her story is done. David Monzon says she will be a variant or on another timeline. Hey, Cui Bono. Flashback, cameo. Oh, you guys are really torn on this. This is interesting. As a scroll, maybe. Oh, I like the scroll idea. That would be mean. You scrolls. More flashback movies, says Junior 6288. I don't know if I want to do any more flashback movies. When I went to see Black Widow again with my family, because it was part of our family lineup of events, my dad was like, when Scarlett Johansson's character was dead at the end of the movie, my dad was like, how'd she die? And I was like, remember she died in Endgame? And he's like, but we just watched a movie about her. And I was like, yeah, but this was a flashback. It took place prior to the current films. And my dad was like, what? And so I don't think they could keep doing that. I think they were able to get away with it because they needed to give Scarlett Johansson a movie, but I don't think flashback stuff really works, to be honest with you. Like Jay King just said, flashback movies disrupt the continuity of the MCU. Yeah, I think it just needs to be like a continuing story. I think that's how it works best. Tillman points out that Kevin Feige mentioned that you didn't have to see the Disney Plus series clearly to understand the credits, but you had to. I would agree with that. That's a really interesting point. I had to explain the end credit scene to everyone in my family, the whole group, because none of them watched the Disney Plus shows, which is interesting. And I think they enjoyed the movie more, by the way, because they don't watch the Disney Plus shows. So they were like, oh, a dose of Marvel. And so they just appreciated it, having a nice little trip to Marvel, the world of Marvel. They haven't been immersed in it like we all have for like a really long time. But they were like, what's going on with Hawkeye? And they were like, Julia Louis-Dreyfus is in the MCU? And I was like, yes! She showed up in Falcon and Winter Soldier. And Hawkeye has a show coming up that Florence Pugh is going to be on. And I could see all their eyes glaze over because they didn't care. Did anyone else have to explain it to anyone? I see some of you said you had to do that. Yeah, Denzel and ES had the same thing. Ashley says, my husband doesn't watch Disney Plus shows and he loved it. Yeah, right? Lisa says, a guy in my theater didn't understand why Elaine was in Black Widow. That's hilarious. I love it. A lot of you had the same situation. Yeah, people were like, oh, what's going on? And I thought for sure that they would be like, boy, we better watch Hawkeye. But they were like, no, I'll just see the next movie. Like, they had no interest. They were not like, oh, yeah, I'm going to totally follow Florence Pugh into Hawkeye. They were like, I'll catch her in the next movie she appears in. That's just really funny. It wasn't totally an older crowd. No, I have, I think that it's interesting. Like, not everybody watches the Disney Plus shows, like they're just not totally into them. Jay King says, my father watched Endgame about a month ago and watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier, yet still asked me how Natasha died. Hey, Caden, ALO. I thought about that. I thought that maybe the movie should have had like a little beginning where it like caught everybody up and was like, this is a flashback, like, doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo, like Wayne's World, and been like, remember, she's dead, and talked about that, and so that people understood exactly what was happening. I think that would have been better. Anthony Huntington says, so we'll have two sets of Marvel fans, shows versus movies versus both. No, I think if you watch the shows, Anthony, you watch the movies. So there's shows and movies, and then there's just movie people. And those are the casual viewers. And I think they're already a little bit lost. So I don't know. I think I'm really curious to see what happens to movies going forward for Marvel in the long run, because it's not, I think there used to be a hunger for Marvel. Hey, virtual goal artisan. There used to be a hunger for Marvel. You'd be like, I'm jonesing for some Marvel. I hadn't had Marvel in months. But instead you're like, I've been watching Marvel every day. It's great. So I think like it's a lot of content. Hey, Amaro DeVille. That's funny. That's a funny name. Ari says, as someone who watches the shows, I loved returning to the film format. I did too. And again, it really made an impression on me going to the theater. I don't think I'm going to watch any more Marvel movies on television. I think that they need to be watched in the theater. I think it makes a really big difference. It's more of an event, and it differentiates them from the shows. Tillman says, I don't think a lot of people will sit through series. I will, but I imagine those people who spent the pandemic watching all the movies in chronological order. Yeah, that's true. I think the TV shows are a big commitment. Like, that's another thing. Someone in my family was like, oh man, because they showed the Shang-Chi trailer. Although everyone in my family agrees with me that Snake Eyes looks better. But one family member was like, oh, Shang-Chi, like, do I have to sit through 6 hours or something? And I was like, no, it's a movie. And they were like, okay, maybe I'll see it then. Evan, I don't know how much Yelena is going to show up in Hawkeye. Let's see here. Skinny Supermodel Simon says, will Florence Pugh do her own Black Widow solo movie as a sequel? Hey, Arsenic. I think that whatever's going on with Val, with the Contessa, is going to have to go first. I think that they're going to have to settle that and do the Dark Avengers / Thunderbolt storyline first, and then we'll see what happens with Yelena. I think she could totally have her own movie, though. Like 1,000%. I'd love to see her with Wanda. They would have the European accents. It would be so funny. They both have European accents. Marvel would be like, why are all of our popular characters Eastern European? And you'd be like, it's fantastic. Somebody asked me, Dallas says, are you going to do episode reviews for What If? I won't be doing watch-alongs for What If, but I will be doing episode reviews and breakdowns. Scorpio Dan 80 says, will it be Dark Avengers or Thunderbolts? To me, it's looking like it's going to be a mix. I'm not quite sure which one it's going to be, though. I know it will be one or the other. I know there's a dark team coming. I mean, and now it's proven. I mean, I've been telling you a dark team was coming for a long time, but now you can see it for yourself. Chris Gomez says, what's the next Disney Plus Marvel live action show? It'll either be Hawkeye or Ms. Marvel. I would imagine they would really be rushing Hawkeye, quite frankly. I mean, they really should, because we'll definitely do a Suicide Squad watch along. Because now everyone's like, wow, where's more Yelena? So I think they're going to want Hawkeye to come up fast. Although it's not going to be in August. The next Marvel show is What If? So we're going to have to be waiting until like the fall, which sucks. Darn it. Ari says, why did General Ross look sick during Infinity War when why didn't he look sick when he was speaking? You know, they made a mistake. So let me tell you, I'll tell you a little bit of tea. So William Hurt's General Ross is going to be Red Hulk in the She-Hulk show. So they were setting up that he was sick in this movie. He looked real sick in the movie. You were like, what happened to him? He's so sick. James Alfred says, are they bringing Norman Osborn as the main villain? Norman Osborn is the main villain in the new Spider-Man movie, but I don't know if he's going to cross over into the mainstream MCU. I'm not sure. I mean, they have variants now, so he doesn't have to, but I'm not quite sure what they're going to do. Oh, a Shang-Chi watch-along, Chris Gomez? Yeah, I'll try and do that too. You know, if there isn't, I would do a watch-along. I'm going to do watch-alongs for these movies. And I would have done a Black Widow watch-along, but the problem, although, I don't know how many times I could watch Black Widow. I thought it was, again, it's a good movie, but it's not a great movie. But I will definitely be doing watch-alongs for those, but I just had this family event, which made it almost impossible for me to do it. Oh, you know what's going to make it easier? Shang-Chi is not going to be on Disney Plus, so I will be doing a watch-along when it becomes available for home video. So that makes things easier. I think it's good we're going back to the old schedule. Because, hey, Kirill Golvanov, I prefer doing the watch-along a little bit later. It's hard to do it right when the movie comes out, because I'm covering the movie. Also, you know what I thought was an unfortunate side effect of having the Black Widow on Disney Plus? I don't know how you guys felt about this, but a lot of really good quality screen grabs came out because you could easily just take the shot off of Disney Plus. I take shots off Disney Plus. I mean, I didn't do it because I didn't want to put those screen grabs out there. And also, I didn't want to pay $30 for the movie because I was seeing it in theaters and I'd already seen a screener. But I was surprised, right away, perfect screen grabs and, copies of the end credit scene were showing up online because it was so easy to get the grabs. And you could do GIFs. GIFs were popping up immediately because it was available digitally. And so I think, usually you have to sneak into the theater and get a crappy shot. And so that's usually what comes out. So it's crazy. So I was really surprised about that. I was like, wow, I did not expect that to happen, but it did. Sufjan says, do you think Kang could be the new Thanos level big bad? I do. And I'm so happy for Jonathan Majors. I think that Kang not only could be the big bad because he's Kang, but also because he's played by Jonathan Majors, who is one of the best actors working today. Sufjan says the same thing happened with Wonder Woman 1984. That's a good point. I got to tell you, it was fun during the pandemic to have these movies at home, but it's not good for the business. It's just not good for the business to have it on there. Mika, I'm going to do a new MCU ranking after Eternals comes out, and then I'll be able to fold in Eternals, Shang-Chi, and also Black Widow. Also, when I do my thing, should I fold in the shows? I don't know if I can fold in the television shows too. Should I? What do you think? I think that they're different animals. Tracy, they're not releasing Shang-Chi on Disney Plus because they want you to start going back to the theater. So it's over. The last Disney movie that will be released in theaters and on Disney Plus will be Jungle Cruise. ES says, no, don't. I tried. It's too hard. That's funny. Yeah, I think they're different. Most of you agree it's different. The show's just, hey, Alex, I think the shows, and there are so many shows that I could do separate lists for Marvel television shows, and I will. Although Devin's like, do it. That's funny. Samir says Jungle Cruise looked amazing in Dolby. It did. There are so many trailers in front of Black Widow, though. I was like, play the movie. I've seen all these trailers. I will probably see Jungle Cruise. I don't know. You know what's funny? For Black Widow in the advertising, they were like, "Oh, is this on Disney Plus?" And like they never talked about it. But when they dropped the trailers for Jungle Cruise, they're like, "Hey, it's on Disney Plus. Like, we know you probably weren't going to watch it, but I think you might watch it on Disney Plus, huh? 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 Huh?" I thought that was hilarious. Hey, Miss Mary 020. That looks like a very cool, different. Is that Pocahontas? Hey, Brandon Rack. Madeline says, Grace, I think the main villain in Loki is another Loki, not Kang. You know, people are saying that King Loki hasn't shown up yet, but what if that's another timeline that Kang uses Loki to try and, you know, get him to do what he wants? I mean, we just don't know what's going to happen. The Dark Savior says, will Natasha return along with Steve and Tony Stark? I think everyone will return. I think that it's just too, especially now with the multiverse and stuff like that, I think it's too valuable for Marvel to someday be like, here, 10 to 15, or even like just 5 years later. Here, I mean, Chris Evans has been reported as coming back already for like at least a small cameo. I mean, it's just too valuable to get people to come in. I don't know if Jonathan Majors is going to show up in Loki. I told you it might just be a name check. It might just say Kang. As I told you, Kang might not be home. They might be like, Kang's out, but yeah, this is his home. On that note, Black Widow just said, over the Black Widow box office numbers, good. Well, I better get on movie maths because the numbers should be coming out any minute now. It was so wonderful to do another live stream with you guys. Live streams are going to start coming back more regularly, especially now that this is the last week for Loki. And then so I'll be able, you know, my schedule will go back to being a little bit more normal with my sleep schedule. All right, everybody. I love talking to all of you. It was so much fun, and I'll see you later today for movie math. All right, bye, everybody. Bye.